What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, to the holotables, and have I got news for you? The Order 66 raid videos are still going strong. I've got two amazing teams for you here to use with one team and to score all of the points in the world, basically. I did some testing and I was able to replicate scoring max points using Tarkin and Just Scorch at Relic 9 together for 3.7 million. It's easily doable, repeatable, and sustainable, or something like that. And I did another really weird mixed team of like Shakti clones with Hondo to get like 900k, and then I noticed a guy on the Order 66 raid server has managed to go in underman with the clones at R9 and score 3.7 mil. I never thought to even try that because it just seemed ridiculous. Let's go over these two teams. First and foremost, a big shout out to Silver's Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes channel on YouTube. I will have a link to this guy's channel in the description down below. Go send him a sub, guys. It's good business. And these are the two teams that we're going to be running here. Tarkin with Just Scorch, and then the remaining three clones at R9 can both 3.7 mil and max out the raid. Huge business, guys. Let's go over it. So, firstly, this is the mod setup that I used for my Scorch and Tarkin solos over here. What I find is Scorch in particular, you just either want him to have offense or you want him to be incredibly tanky. I find having him about 250 speed is the critical point because that makes him go after the enemy Apo has gone. That's all you really want. Make him go after enemy Apo and then survive, maybe do a bit of damage. That's why he's modded for offense for me. 9.2k on the offense over there. 244 speed and 150k protection. Nothing too crazy. Definitely favor protection over health because of the dots the exposes. Grand Moff Tarkin then, you want him about 315 speed, about 100% potency is fine, crit damage on the triangle, and as much offense as you can possibly get. Anything over 7,000 should be enough. We've got 7.8 here. Let's go over the run then. Alrighty, so what we have to do here is you start off with Intimidation Tactics. That's going to put out the debuffs on the enemy team, give you a bunch of turn meter on your Tarkin. After that, Fox is going to go, then Apo's going to go. Alright, so Fox will go, ability block is fine. You use a basic with Tarkin on Apo. You do not want to bring any of these clones really below 80% health, because if they are below 80% health, you can no longer crit them thanks to Lord Vader's leadership. Alright, so we just do a basic over there. They will dispel then on your Scorch, just like that, and that will cause Order 66 to trigger. When Order 66 triggers at the R9 tier, you are going to increase the stacks of Execute on Lord Vader, but also gain 100% turn meter on your clones and on your Tarkin, and it's going to increase their offense by like 70%. Alright, it's a huge, huge boost. After this, you want to re-taunt with Scorch, use that second special, get that taunt up, get that bulwark up. One more basic with Tarkin, so he has 2 stacks of Grand Moff's offense, or whatever it's called. And then you just need to survive until you get to Tarkin's next turn. Use Intimidation Tactics once again, and then you just blow up the entire board. Everybody should die. Focus down on Fox to call the assist. Booyah, you're looking pretty. You're looking pretty. If you don't get rid of Fox at this point, just restart. You might need a little bit more offense, you might need a little bit more luck, whatever it takes. After that, it's pretty easy to clear through the remaining waves. Just try to play it a little bit sensibly. Don't waste your AoE with Tarkin against Lord Vader. And then it's just a case of every new round, you should be able to go Intimidation Tactics, blow the board. Keep the taunt up with Scorch whenever you possibly can, and you really cannot mess this run up. It is pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and easily replicatable once you've got the modding and the strategy down. You'll have a good time with this. 3.6 million, no issues there. Now, I'll let this run out. I'll just increase the speed on this just to show that it absolutely does work. You won't really have any issues. Take out the disguised clone troopers when you can. Use Intimidation Tactics, use Ultimate Firepower, you should be one-shotting them. It'll be a real good time. And there you go, 3.6 mil, no problem. Going over to the other team then. The modding for this trio team to work is difficult, and it is RNG based, guys, okay? But I'm going to do my due diligence and show you how it's done for Silver. Link to his video will be down below. Disguised Clone Trooper is the star of the show. We need to have a few things happen for him. He needs to be incredibly damaging. So I've got him here at 14k special damage. And you want him somewhere between sort of 310 to 315 speed. A little side note, I would say, if you can, put a protection circle on him, okay? That's not a big deal. More protection means less damage for you, essentially. Because there's a lot of dots and exposes that happen in this game mode. So you want to try and mitigate against that damage. Apo then. This is the hardest person to mod in my experience, but that's because I just don't have great potency sets. You need to have him incredibly potent so he lands stuns. Turn 1 stun is very, very important. The more potency you can get on him, the more reliable that will become, all right? So I've got him at about 140% potency. You want him going before CX2, basically. Not before CX2, sorry, before Disguised Clone Trooper. And faster is always better. Apart from that, just try and get some damage on him, crit damage if you can. 324 speed, 142% potency here, and whatever damage you can eke out, essentially. Finally, CX2. As fast as possible, with as much damage as possible. I'm favoring protection over everything else here because it makes it easier to survive, but damage is also great. Alright, so here is Silver's footage. Couple of things. Turn 1, he is using that, he is using the second special from CX2 to place disarmed over on Apo. Now, I understand why he's doing that, because if you put any sort of debuff over here on the enemy Fox, he's going to gain 100% speed, and that's going to start interrupting your turns, and you don't really want that. However, I think there is a nuance that we could potentially do 3 attacks over here on Fox with Disguised Clone Trooper using basics and still get Order 66 on him and take him out quickly. But I haven't done any testing on that, so I might be wrong. For now, let's follow Silver's advice and just go straight after Nightfall Trooper, Apo, sorry, to place that disarmed on him. After that, we've got our first element of RNG. We need to do the first special with our Apo targeting a Nightfall Trooper. It has to stun, and it has to call in your Disguised Clone Trooper to assist. There's a 50% chance that it'll call Disguised Clone Trooper because it's either going to be CX2 or Disguised Clone Trooper. Has to call him in to assist, okay? And it has to stun. All right, so here we go. We're going to use that first special. We got the stun, and as you can see, Disguised Clone Trooper assisted. This is going to do 2 things. Most importantly, that stun is going to prep that character for Order 66 later, but also, now that our Disguised Clone Trooper is stealthed, he can now do a basic against another Nightfall Trooper and stun them as well. So let's go ahead and do that. And here we go. Wait for it. Just do a basic there and stun. Great. So, when they are stunned, the next time Disguised Clone Trooper does a basic against them, because they are already stunned, he will put Order 66 on the enemy team, which in turn will give us 100% turn meter and a bunch of additional offense. Okay, so we need to target one of those guys, use the special from our Nightfall Trooper and call Disguised Clone Trooper to assist, places Order 66, and the whole team gains 100% turn meter. Perfect, right? Perfect. So CX2 is always going to attack Apo, because if he attacks the same target 3 times, we get Order 66. Next up, we are going to use the AoE with our Apo ourselves, targeting the enemy Fox to do a little bit of damage on him. After this, we can do a few things here. If you target one of the stunned Nightfall Troopers with your Disguised Clone Trooper and it doesn't have Order 66, you will apply it, which again will give 100% turn meter to the whole team and a bunch of additional offense. So if we do that now, we'll do the basic, Order 66, whole team gains 100% turn meter, which indeed means that CX2 is going to take a turn, and it'll be his 3rd attack against the enemy Apo, which means we can go ahead and place Order 66 on the enemy Apo, which is great. Alright, so we're going to do some damage to Fox here with our Nightfall Trooper, and then the CX2 that we've got is going to place Order 66 on Apo, 100% turn meter for the clones, loads of additional offense. Look at the stacks of Execute on Lord Vader. After this, we just really need to start taking out Fox, so let's throw some damage in. If you do a basic right now with Disguised Clone Trooper on somebody with Order 66, you will do massive damage, alright? So, here we go. We could try and stun a Disguised Clone Trooper just to get an additional stunned character, but it looks like we've got enough offense right now to just completely take him out. And we're going all in on Fox here. Take out Fox needs to happen. Realistically speaking, yes, you could keep on doing standard damage over there to the enemy Apo, but you might as well just use the flag at this point, in my opinion. You're not going to need to get another Order 66 on Apo. He'll be dead before that happens. So he ends up using it on his own Apo, and then you can quite easily just take out the rest of the team. Massive damage there against characters with Order 66. You could probably just take out Apo at this point. If you get to this level, you are going to be absolutely fine, because you've ramped up a whole boatload of damage thanks to all this Order 66 that we're putting out. And the Lord Vader's got 135, 155 stacks of that Execute, which is absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And away we go. It looks like it did actually reapply that Order 66, which is quite nice. Or is it just applying it every time we hit someone with Order 66? That's probably what it is. Okie dokie. Let's go ahead and just use a... So if you've reached this point, you're going to be absolutely fine. You should have ramped up enough damage going through each wave to just take out subsequent waves pretty quickly. What I will say is that you want to try, at least to my knowledge, try to get Disguised Clone Trooper to have full turn meter or close to full turn meter going into the next wave, so that he can do things like lob a grenade and clear out an entire wave very quickly. He's your big damage dealer. You want to rely on him to do the huge amounts of damage. Obviously, Apo can dispel all of the buffs on the enemy team. You can use that to your advantage, get rid of all the stealth, get rid of all the retribution, and the grenade throw from Disguised Clone Trooper is going to wipe the board. I don't necessarily think you need to use it here per se, but you might as well. There we go. And then your Nightfall Trooper can take out the rest. But like I said, if you hit this point, you are going to be in a good position, and you should be able to get that full score. This is an amazing find. I don't know who actually came up with the strat. I've just seen the video here. It was sent to me from Silver. So guys, that is amazing theory crafting, amazing use of 3 R9 clones. So if you've got the full R9 clones and you've got Tarkin, that means you can get yourself 7.2 million with 5 characters in total. That's really good use out of those R9s. Great work. Make sure you go over to Silver's account and give him a sub on YouTube. Awesome stuff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to about do it for today. If we find any more other videos that could be useful, I will let you guys know, and I'll see you all in the very next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.